Welcome to Pocket Watch Podcast. It's your motherfucking boys.
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing today?
What it is, what it ain't.
What's up?
Yo, thank you for tuning in for another episode. You already know.
Boom.
Like,
Follow
share,
and subscribe.
Yes, sir. We got another episode for you guys. Thank you again for tuning in for another week. We love y'all. We love the support. Be sure to comment some suggestions on topics, whatever the case is. If not, then y'all just gonna hear what the fuck we gotta say.
Yeah, if you don't like it, then go to the next episode.
Yeah. Word. Word. We drop a lot of shit. That's one thing I do want to say at the beginning of one of these episodes is we drop a lot of shit, man. So if you can't tell with like the encrypted titles and shit like that, I mean, just scroll through, check the catalog, because some are like, but we got a lot of fire in
Not just that, but if you ever want to know what we talk about, just check the description, bro.
Yeah, check the description. Before you listen, check the description. And then if anything, just click it and listen for a second and then go to the next one.
Fun fact, all of our descriptions are written by AI.
Hey, shout out ChatGPT, baby.
Yes, sir.
ChatGPT, yo, AI is taking over, Bobby.
Bro, I wish that ChatGPT existed when I was in fucking school.
Oh, I use that shit right now like a motherfucker. Bro, it's to the point where AI is... Wait, drop the music on this one because I got you. AI... Oh, shit.
What the fuck?
Oh. That was weird. I went to turn off the fucking pocket.
I looked at you like, why do I sound like that? Nah, yo, AI is changing curriculums, bro. Attention, AI, artificial intelligence, is changing curriculums.
Did you say that right? Curriculums.
No, for real though, bro. Like the past couple semesters is funny because I've had professors changing their syllabuses and shit because of AI. So for example, like one of my classes, I got to do a bunch of case readings every week. And he said before, I used to make you write essays. Like not essay, like a page or two essays on the case before class. So he knows that you did the prep work. He's like, this semester is the first semester that I'm making you do quizzes instead. And he's like, I know you can search and stuff like that, but he was like, I feel like it's better because he was like, honestly, he was like, I don't mind reading essays. I don't like reading essays that AI wrote, is what he said. Like, he's like, I fucking know.
And you know it because of how the words are, bro.
Bro.
Like, it sounds like so professional. You're listening. You're like, wow, this is fucking great.
Here's the problem is they tell you to write essays the way AI is writing essays. Yeah. So it's like, if I do perfect, you think it's AI.
Yeah, that's true.
And if I don't, like, I got to make this sound dumb for you to believe me. Which is, and all it's doing is doing the same shit. As long as you find like 3 or 4 sources and then have AI write it,
yeah,
you're right.
You know what's hilarious is the other day, some Melissa's applying for a new position or whatever. And she was like going through her stuff and she was like, oh, how should I say this? How should I say that? And I was reading through it and like I'm reading like what she's like writing for like her daily duty descriptions and you know all that stuff like on the resume. And I was like, babe, just plug this all into fucking ChatGPT and say, make it sound professional for a resume. She went through and she's like, oh my God, this is so great. This is amazing.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm gonna use this shit for everything. I was like, bro, like if I have to write a complex email or I have to like do it, shit, my fucking business website that I just had built. The lady wrote some shit and I just took all that shit to make it sound more professional. I posted that and it sounded fucking great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
It does a great job.
Bro, I'll like a step further and we got here before I could even pull it up, so I'm not going to do it. But I follow this guy on LinkedIn and his whole fucking like niche, because there's like LinkedIn influencers, right?
Yeah.
And his whole niche is using AI to find jobs. And he always posts like there's different types of AIs for, not different AIs. There's different types of companies that have AI that do something that's more specific. And they have resume builders. They have this. So literally you upload a job description of the position you're applying for. You upload your resume.
Ooh, and it gets like the keywords and everything.
It updates your resume based off the job description you uploaded.
Damn.
So it's like you're not lying. It's not going to add things that you didn't do because the job description is asking for. It's saying manipulate what I have So you're supposed to put as much as you can on the resume. So
Damn,
like,
I wish I'd have known that, bro.
so there's a lot of things where like people put too much on their resume. And
What's it called?
That's where we're at next. But like, there's a thing where people put too much things on their resume because at the end of the day, as you do things in your career and shit like that,
It might not apply to your new job.
yeah,
Like,
but
it's
you're
like, it's
adding it
pointless.
to your resume. So what's nice is it takes those resumes where you put everything you could, and then it just curates it to that position that you're applying for. Let me see reactions. Let me see. Yeah, this guy's whole fucking
That would have been great for me to know about for Melissa,
yeah. Let me see.
because she just applied to that position.
Hey, she's gonna get it regardless. It don't really matter. It is what it is. Let me see. And it ain't what it ain't. That's what's important.
I always say, what's meant to be will be, man.
I be liking too much shit on LinkedIn. What the
What's
fuck
meant to
am I
be
doing?
will be. That's something for you guys to realize, man. Like, sometimes everything in life is not meant for us. You know what I mean? Like, just because you don't get it, just because you don't get something, or you don't get what you sometimes want, sometimes it's not meant for you, man. And like, it's okay to have that and accept that.
Yeah.
Not everything's meant to be, you know.
Yeah. Man, y'all don't need me to tell you. Fucking Google it.
that.
Google that shit. Put AI for resumes and shit or whatever, and you'll see a couple different companies. But the one I was looking at was that, where it was like, hey, are you used to just like adding as much as you can to the resume? Good, because that's what they told you. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But here's the problem is you're supposed to curate it to the position you're applying for or whatever, and that AI is built for it.
The question is, do they have an AI that can get Diddy out of trouble?
Ooh. No, that's not the real question. Last thing on the AI thing, they got those things that you could, just like you could add in emoji things to your keyboard, you can add AI to your email. Your Outlook.
I have an AI thing for like my Google Chrome. So when I do searches, it gives me like a summarized of like all the results.
Yeah. All right. The question is,
Dun, 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 dun.
the question is, and
I
I've been
want a drum roll. That would be a good one. Like,
something. Don't do the air horn.
Oh. Wait, what the fuck? Oh.
I'm an idiot.
The real question is, Zach, what would you do?
For a Klondike bar?
Nah, bro. What would you do to blow this podcast up, bro? Like, for real. Because
Nah.
that's the root cause of what we're about to talk about. What would you do to blow this podcast up? Yo,
Not let Diddy fondle my genitalia.
Fundle?
Or
Yo,
fondle,
I
fondle,
would.
fondle.
No. To
Is it
blow this
fondle or
podcast
fondle?
up, you could fondle me. That's light work, bro. That's
Yeah, this man Cruz said that I might enjoy the fondling. If you
no,
wanna
for
fondle
real.
some
If you
more.
want to like coddle my balls and like stroke a little bit, low key to blow the podcast up, I would.
Would you cuck for Diddy and let him watch you have sex with another guy like he tried to do for Rodney?
So look, man, look. So here's the thing, and that's the root cause. That's what because I know you guys, people have access to, if not already know all the details to the Diddy case. Right now, private jet owned by Diddy has left the U.S. and headed to, what is it, Antigua, post his house being raided and shit like that.
I think it's grounded there now too. I don't know if he's allowed to leave there.
So, and especially if he's in it, right? If that was him. So, Diddy's going through some shit. A lot of sexual harassment type charges.
Yeah, sexual harassment, supposedly some sex trafficking allegations and accusations and stuff like that. He's under a lot of fire right now.
And it's a lot of stars. It's been documented throughout time, right? Like the 90s and the 2000s or whatever. But bro, and then couple that, right? Because I don't want to get too much in, because people will look for the details if they don't already know. First of all, super fucking crazy about Diddy, but then like you couple that with the quiet on set shit coming out.
Yeah, man, it just kind of shows you that like the
That
music
industry,
and
people don't
movie
just say,
industries, yeah,
bro, and like there was
a lot of weirdos, man.
Yeah, man. And what's funny is like there was a comic out talking about Darnell Rollins, how like you gotta, and what's funny is it was funny because I don't think it's true for Darnell Rollins, But he was talking about how like you gotta suck 3 dicks to be on a movie as a comic or some shit like that.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
And it was kind of jokey joke. It was kind of talky shit. But when you have this quiet on set and this Diddy shit come out, you're like, man, bro, like it's crazy because. And you think about this podcast, right? Like, and we're not in touch with any like gatekeepers of this industry. Thank God, because I would have been sucked some dick, right?
Yo, pause.
But,
Hey, yo.
but
Like
just imagine,
Bobby
bro.
Althoff?
Just imagine that, right? Althoff topped all tough, right? All the toughs, bro. And I would have loved that. I've been watching her recent shit. She looking alright, but but you think about it, bro. Like, it's hard because all right, the Diddy situation, the Quiet on Set, which if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's on Prime. If you were born in the '90s and you watched fucking Nickelodeon and all that shit, it's about to ruin your childhood. But the Quiet on Set talks about like the shit, like the All That show, Drake and Josh, like a lot of these other different iCarly, all those different shows and all the weird shit they ended up having to do. The craziest thing with the Quiet on Set that I did not, so a lot of the things with Quiet on Set that, like, okay, you could take certain clips and under the light of Quiet on Set, it looks terrible. Right? Because I feel like they took some iCarly clips where she was like drinking out of a water fountain and it was like shooting and she was on her knees like drinking the water fountain. I'm like, bro, first of all, like as a kid, I'm not making that correlation, so it don't really fucking matter.
Yeah, as a kid, but like it's because like the whole idea behind it was that adults were sexualizing while she's doing it.
And there were some weirdos curating it, which is legit. But did you see the like Ariana Grande shit? Like on the Quiet on Set, like Ariana Grande had a show, a couple shows. She had one with
You talking like the potato thing and everything,
bro. Yeah. I don't care what. I don't. That's crazy. Like if I came home and my kid was watching like Nickelodeon and I saw that, I'd be like,
what the hell?
Either I'm super horny right now and I'm sexualizing this shit, or like this is super sexualized, right? Yeah. Like what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, it was crazy.
But
did you hear that they're coming out with the 5th episode for that with Drake now? Drake's gonna be coming again, and like they're gonna be I think like April 7th is dropping. He's coming back and he's gonna be talking about like the details of it.
I don't want to know the details of it. Yo, like spoiler alert. Drake got bunned up. What's crazy is it wasn't Dan Schneider. It was like the guy that like David. No, what was something Beck, right?
Yeah,
the guy that was like
I forgot his name. Was it Brian Beck?
Something like
Brian
that.
Peck or something. I forgot what it was.
No,
called.
Peck was Josh Peck.
Yeah, and then his name was Beck.
Yeah,
but I think it's Brian Beck if I'm not mistaken.
When I was watching that show though, I was like, man, I used to think like Drake was so lucky for how good he looked in the industry he did when I was a kid. But now looking at it, I'm like, Josh was so lucky he was fat.
But didn't he get like either underage or rape charges placed against him a couple years ago?
Drake, yeah. He went through. He has some type of. He was texting back and forth with some underage. Person.
And like not to like condone that at all, but like I wonder like if what he went through like mentally kind of fucked him up a little bit to like think that it was okay for that because you know the person that did it with him and stuff like that, you know.
Man, that shit's weird, bro. Like there's
bro.
Ice cream trucks.
I hear the ice cream truck
every time. Y'all know when we recording, bro. Yo, if somebody really want to kill us, like they could listen hard and be like, "Oh,
ice cream truck comes at this time every day." Clack 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 through the window.
Yep. What do they talk about a lot? Oh, they made some references on Kissimmee and shit like that. Like, oh, I listened to the Lakeside episode and shit. And
listen.
Wait for me.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I thought it would pick it up because it's pretty sensitive, but it didn't.
Nah.
That was gay.
That was super gay, bro.
Just like Brian Beck.
Nah. But those are two, like, all right. So I think the Quiet on Set's a little different because I do think, like, what Dan Schneider, the Peck dude or whatever, And then even like fast forward to what Drake ended up doing after this shit he went through. I do think hurt people.
Yeah.
And like abused people tend to abuse people.
I agree with that.
And that's just a sad situation. And a lot of those things could get to a root cause for sure. Like listening to Christine talk about some of the shit she learns with the social work, it's like, yeah, like they're taught to know, like look for the root cause of a lot of these things. And then they have a better understanding and can deal with people that are like somebody that has a underage allegation and shit. Like they could deal with those people better because they're like, yeah, like I know that Drake went through this when he was younger and shit like that. Like that's the cycle that it goes through. The Diddy thing, Diddy's the next Epstein, bro.
I think so. I think we're going to see him miraculously disappear in Antigua, or he's going to commit suicide because he can't handle the pressure.
But why?
Well, I think he had so one of the things that we were talking about was whenever I forgot exactly who was saying it, but they were saying that every single room and like every hallway or so that has hidden cameras throughout his house.
And he has big parties.
Yeah, so they were saying that like all of his freak off parties that he has, everybody who's ever been to his house,
and it's all like big names, like all that shit.
So they were saying that he has recordings of everybody doing illegal stuff and doing crazy things, and he has videos of it all, and he kept all of it. And I'm sure he's got some shit, man. I'm
sure there's some people. So what's crazy is shout out to Andrew Scholes, super accurate with his joke that he told in Philly about Meek Mill being gay. Yeah. That was something kind of crazy. He didn't say he was gay, but he was like, he's terrible at proving he's not gay.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's like,
and I think him making that joke was whenever like the whole Meek Mill and Diddy thing came out. I think that was like his answer.
That was the first time it came out.
Yeah, because that's because like the court documents were saying something like along the lines that he engaged in sexual activity with a male of certain, like a black male of a certain age that's a Philly-based rapper, and everybody was like, "That's fucking Meek Mill, bro."
Yeah.
And then like all the videos started surfacing.
Like, yo, what did Meek Mill do?
Yeah, when he's like, "What's up, daddy? How are you, daddy?" And
so. And the funny part about the joke was like, he was like, I don't think Meek Mill's gay, but he's terrible at proving he's not gay. And he was like when somebody calls you gay, you don't just be like, I love pussy, like this and this and that. And then he mentioned like, I love pussy so much, I have sex when she's on her period. And then Andrew Schultz was like, oh, he thinks that's gross. He was like, you know who else thinks that's gross?
Gay guys.
Gay guys.
That's hilarious.
So Schultz called it. I mean, that was a great correlation. But I mean, man, they're going through some shit. 50's going crazy. Like he's having fun because he's been saying this shit for a minute.
Not just that, but also the fact that I don't think he likes the whole Diddy and shit like that. I don't think
he didn't like. But Cameron and Exhibit were other people as well. And what's funny is, like they've been saying that for a while as well. And people are like, bro, same thing with this quiet on set shit. Is like the social media era has brought some things to light. There's too much talks. There's too much interactiveness or whatever the case is.
And people love the drama.
Yeah. And when there's some consistency in the drama, it's a story. Yeah. Like, oh, this person, and this person have said something. And then there's the blogger that is researching all those people, puts them together, makes a story. And then that just trickles into like whatever the case is.
It literally went from like Love is Blind to immediately to Diddy to immediately Quiet on Set.
Yeah. I just don't understand motives because that's the thing that's weird for me with Diddy is the motive. So like,
it kind of seems like, because it seems like he likes to watch.
Well, he's a freak for sure. And that's maybe the best motive I could come up with. Because here's the thing.
Well, I was going to say, it seems like he watches. So like maybe he likes to feel like he's in control of it. Like, oh, I can force these two to like
maybe
engage in sex with each other because like
that power.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that might be a little bit.
So I feel like with the Quiet on Set, the Dan Schneider type, the guy that some of the guys
hiccups.
Yeah,
that's the worst timing ever.
The Dan Schneider type, the guys that he kind of hired or staff that ended up doing the real dirty shit, like the guy that actually molested Drake and shit like that.
There's also another one, the Jason guy too.
Yeah,
he had the child pornography stuff.
Yeah,
over like what was it?
And he was also on staff too, right?
Yeah, bro.
So
I think the Jason guy was like the trainer or whatever, the act trainer or whatever. He was like the guy that helped the coach or whatever, the acting coach. I forgot what it's called.
So like with them, I do think that like they were straight up weirdos, and they were already weirdos when they started. And part of it, they kind of went into Dan Schneider's story about like why he kind of became a weirdo. I forgot what it was. And I don't want to say weirdo, but yeah, you're a weirdo if you're doing shit like that. So yeah, you are a weirdo. But I do think there was like traumas in their life that kind of triggered it, similar to Drake going through what he went through in Nickelodeon and then doing his situation.
But just quick question, because like I haven't finished watching Quiet on Set. Like I said, I'm only on like episode 3 or whatever. Dan didn't actually touch actually not at least yet. Nothing's came out yet about him.
He's done. He's like guilty for coddling certain people and having like weird relationships with people, and he's guilty for all of the sexual context in Nickelodeon shows.
Okay, yeah. But he hasn't actually like tried to like molest anybody.
No, but all the people that has worked with him were like, yo, this is weird shit that you're putting out here. And then when you watch it, it'll make sense. But
I just wasn't sure, like if he actually, because I didn't watch, like I said,
he hasn't been like red-handed caught doing anything.
So he just had a little bit more control. It seems like he was just like those other guys, but just had a little bit more control
and like pushing weird shit and hiring weird shit. He was definitely the facilitator for anything that happened.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
And like if you like, I think like how they structured it was really good, because like they brought those girls in the beginning, the ones that like had got fired or whatever together, remember?
Yeah.
And they brought them in to kind of show that like they were kind of like a little bit outcast of the whole situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Essentially. And it seemed like the other people that he had partaking in it, and like why they kind of stood out was because he hired a lot of weird people, and they probably knew that she wasn't like that either.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, and like the only similarity I can find between the Quiet on Set and the Diddy situation, and even like Epstein or like the Weinstein, the first what is it? What was the culture? What's the word? Where's the culture? Like calling people out or whatever. Me Too.
Yeah, the Me Too movement.
So Weinstein was the start of the Me Too movement, and it was right. Like he was the big producer, big director, or whatever, and he was in charge. Like he had a big influence on who was getting into big movies and whatever. With all these situations, there's a power dynamic to it, which I like. That's the similarity, but I feel like that's the thing that enables them to do the fuck shit, because they have that power dynamic. I don't know if that's the root cause for it, because I do think the root cause for the like the Quiet on Set shit is like there was some pedophilia vibes regardless.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's not like just power. Like I don't care if I had all the power in the world, maybe I'd do some weird shit, but it ain't no kid shit. Like that's just like not, that's a weird thing. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. The Diddy one, you could tell it's like some power shit, but then he's got some of the trafficking, he's got some weird shit in there. And I don't know, man. Like it's kind of like is, and it's hard to speak for some of these people because we'll never know what it's like to be in their shoes. But like, you know how we spoke about, because Diddy was popping for a long time. Popping, like it's 2024. He's been popping since the 90s, like early 90s. He was popping. Like when Biggie was out going crazy, Diddy was popping and like attached to that and all that. So I'm like, part of me, like, you know how we had that one episode with Brant where we talked about Bad Bunny kissing dudes on stage, and he felt like, and I agreed with him, where it's like, yeah, like sometimes you get so much pussy, like you get bored.
Yeah.
And we'll never know what that's like, right? Because we're faithful men. But bro, like I think some of these things are that to the fullest, where it's like that big power dynamic with being a little bit bored is like curating this weird shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's probably part of it. But I also think like that they might just have some screws loose, period. And I feel like just being in the position that they're in, they have to be a different, unique, weird individual.
That's part of it too. Like
you don't become like the best of the best like that without being weird a little bit.
Like, do the few screws loose people produce the most fire shit?
I think they tend to be more creative. I think so.
Yeah,
just
man, because Nickelodeon slap.
Their mind doesn't operate like a lot of other people do.
No, bro. And what's crazy too is like even on the Quiet on Set stuff when you're watching some of the All That skits, right? I remember thinking as a kid that All That was weird.
Yeah.
I do remember thinking like it's kind of fun. I'll wait for the skits that I fuck with, like Good Burger, shit like that or whatever. Yeah. But I do remember thinking like some of these skits were like weird.
Yeah, me too.
And but it was fire.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like it's kind of crazy. Most of the shit I definitely didn't pick up on at the time. I didn't give a fuck.
I don't think I did either.
No, not at all. But did it create some of that tension that kind of interested you? That's different from like a normal bland cartoon. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it did. Like I used to think Carly was hot. I used to think Sam from iCarly was hot. And there were certain things. Bro, I didn't know also that like Amanda Bynes had so much push behind her. Like I didn't know she was meant to be like the all-star.
Bro, the name of the show was literally Amanda Bynes Show.
The Amanda
I love the Amanda Bynes Show.
It was good.
Amanda.
She was good.
Show.
She was good.
Yeah.
She was funny, man. And she was talented as fuck as a kid.
Yeah,
You saw that show? Like she was doing stand up at like 7 years old,
and her stand up was good too.
It was like her timing was right, bro.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that. When I saw that, I was like, "Fuck, that's great." I didn't know that she was.
Me
like
neither.
that.
I was like, "Wow, she was a talent, man."
Yeah,
and she got fucked.
Yeah.
Well,
she didn't get fucked, that we know of.
Man,
but nonetheless, yes. And I don't know if you know about. No, they can go down to conspiracy a little bit. Did they talk? I don't think I didn't see. Did they talk about Amanda Bynes in the season in episode 4?
Nope.
So Amanda Bynes used to have a Twitter account that was called Ashley Banks.
Mm-hmm.
And on that Twitter account, she used to leak a lot of information. She posted a picture of her own ID and was basically saying like that like she was like molested and raped and stuff like that by people, and like she was taken advantage of and everything. And that her parents let it happen. And what she was, and like, so like when she was coming out and saying this on the Twitter, she basically got like committed for admitted or whatever for being crazy. And she said that her parents took all of her fucking money from everything.
They flipped on her.
They basically said, oh, she's going crazy. And they put her like in a fucking psych ward. They took all of her money and everything like that. She wrote it all on Twitter under an account called Ashley Banks. And to actually like to start the account, she literally posted a picture of her driver's license.
I recall that.
But it was crazy. I don't think that was on a TV show, but I saw that like separately from it. And I don't know if she's still like in those facilities now or if she's gotten out since. But nonetheless, it was something that did happen.
I feel like most of this, like the ones, like the Jeffrey Epstein ones, that is him capitalizing and doing research on a bunch of powerful people that are bored and capitalizing on all their weird shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. That cycle can be broken. Now, the cycle of, because, bro, think about it. How bad do we want this podcast to blow up? I want this podcast to blow up so bad. And I love it. And to be able to do something like this for like money would be so fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
So imagine not this podcast, because we have interests. I feel like I want this podcast to blow up so much, but I have other interests that outweigh that, right? Like our careers, our business, your business, like shit like that, right? So imagine this is why I'm like, I do not think this cycle can be broken. Like, even though it's being exposed and all this shit, I do not think it can be broken, because in entertainment industry, specifically, whether you're a rapper or a singer, like with Diddy's situation, or an actor or comedian, like with the Nickelodeon situation,
yeah,
there's such a control, like this is what you want to do, and you know you're good at it, or whatever the case is, and this person has the power to put you over the edge that you need.
Yeah,
and it's not about and maybe like the like social media and online era that we're in right now that allows you to get the access regardless works. But even then, there's a lot of good shit out there that's not getting the eyes that it needs to get.
Yeah.
So it's still present where if there is any gatekeepers and you have access to the gatekeepers that could put you through and you're good enough to be able to do something with it, they have power, bro. Like, it's not like a power where it's like your boss controls your raise. Because it's like, you know what? I could quit, and even if I'm making 5-10% less, cool. We're not talking about a 5-10% or my boss gives me my raise or my promotion and now I'm making 10%, 20% more. That's different. We're talking about 1,000%. We're talking about I'm doing stand-up clubs for fucking St. Cloud, and this guy can make me like pack out Madison Square Garden type shit. That's a big exaggeration, but when you're talking about Amanda Bynes doing the little things that she was doing as a little girl and then having the Amanda show on Nickelodeon, that's fucking night and day. So that's a different power. And same thing with Diddy. If I'm a rapper or a singer or something like that, and I know I'm good, but like I just can't get the eyes that I need or whatever, and this person's the one that could attach me to this platform or whatever the case is and put me over, like I don't think you can stop that power.
Yeah.
And then specifically in entertainment industry where you're dealing with artists or creators that love what they're doing and wish that they could do more with it or whatever the case is, and you're talking to a person that could put you over the edge, it's gonna be a weird thing to try to see how they break that cycle, bro. Because yes, these people, like, if guilty, will never do it again. But how are you stopping the next one? Bro. And the Nickelodeon one is a little crazy too, because it's like you're inviting pedophiles. Like, this is
I
kids only.
say if we publicly stone them, I think that would be like a good deterrent.
It would deter it.
Deterrent.
It would be a good deterrent, but man, like,
publicly stone them on the same platform that they utilize to take advantage of children.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. The other thing too is if you suck dick to make it, you gotta keep that shit to yourself. Right?
That's another thing. A lot of people don't want them to come out and say to know what they did.
And it's a whole different dynamic. But the thing with the Diddy thing that we didn't get into, he's the next Epstein. Part of this Cameron, part of the Jay-Z, Beyonce shit. He got people locked up that he don't want to know.
Exactly. But thank you guys for tuning in for another week. Make sure you guys like,
follow,
share,
subscribe.
If you guys haven't already, tell your mother, your brother, your sister, your daddy, your auntie, your uncle. You tell everybody.
And if Pocket Watch blows up in the next month, just know that my mouth was full, baby.
Don't be pocket watching unless you're watching
Pocket Watch Podcast.
Pocket Watch out.
Out.